The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Over the years, droughts have impacted more of the Kenyan population than any other natural disaster. Agriculture in particular, a sector that supports 75% of the country's population livelihoods, suffers from worsening droughts. In northern Kenya, for example, water scarcity and population growth dually affect food security to an increasing degree. Kalobeyei is in the western part of Turkana County, one of the driest regions in the northwest of Kenya, bordering South Sudan to the north and Uganda to the west. Traditionally, the local Turkana community in this place relied on livestock production because of the harsh climate condition unbearable for crop production. But today, the story is different. In this episode, we look at modern ways of farming in arid and semi-arid lands, ASALs. But first, let's have our food for thought. Traditional soil-grown crop production has worked well for many years, but there are several factors that have placed strain on conventional agriculture. According to the World Bank, the human population in Kenya is expected to reach 85 million by 2050. Combining this fast-paced population growth with the advancing of climate change actions, the roots of Kenya's future agribusiness sector are weakened. According to Relief Web International, in 2021 alone, an estimated 2.1 million Kenyans faced acute food shortages from climate-related events such as flooding, irregular rains, droughts, and high temperatures. Therefore, there is an urgent need to scale up crop production methods to facelift the depressing agricultural sector in the country. And that is how slowly but surely the art of planting crops without soil is gaining momentum in Kenya.
Hydro means water. Ponics means working with water. So basically where we are farming without soil. We're just using water and nutrient solution.
Could this be the solution to end the perennial food shortage in arid and semi-arid areas? Kalobeyei settlement was opened in Turkana County in Kenya in 2016 with the intention of promoting the self-reliance of refugees and the host population and delivering integrated services to both. From Kalobeyei and by extension Kakuma refugee camp, many are the times that you get stories of sorry state of affairs. But today the script is different. John Kapua is one of the beneficiaries of this project by Turkana government, German Development Corporation and Miramar International Foundation.
So tumefunza mwezi mitatu, baada ya mwezi mitatu tukaenda nursery bed. Kwa nursery bed, first of all, kuna coco pit. Coco pit tukatoa kwanza, tukafunja, alafu tukapeleka kwa karibu na dam. Tukarinse 3 times. Kwanza kabisa tunaweka kwa bucket kubwa. Alafu sasa tunaweka maji, tunasoak, alafu tunarinse 3 times ndio itoe hiyo salt na pia sediment, yani mchanga ile inakuanga kwa coco pit. Alafu baada ya hapo tunakausha. We dry on the sun ndio ikauke for 24 hours. Alafu from there sasa tunaleta mpaka tunaweka kwa trays. Then from there we plant the seeds. Then after planting the seeds every day, we water twice a day so that the seedlings can continue to germinate. Mpaka ile period ambayo itakuwa ready ndio transplant from nursery bed to the greenhouses. Sasa kwanza hapa kabla hatujafanya transplanting kuna media nayo ni mchanga hii. Tunatoa kwa hiyo laga tunaleta hapa kwa marble trap. Hii media tunaosha kabisa to make sure ile uchafu imeenda. Ile germs iko ama ile uchafu imetoka. Alafu from there baada ya kuosha tuna rinse tena hii media. Baada ya kurinse sasa basi tunadu transplanting pale. Tunatoa sasa hiyo seedlings tunapanda sasa kwa each marble trap. Alafu from there every day tutakuwa tunawater twice a day, morning and evening. Hapo nje kuna 2 tanks, kuna feeding tanks ya chini hapo ambayo kazi yake ni kumix nutrients na also kuweka acid soda to lower the pH of water. Ndio sasa hiyo maji isiumize mmea. Tukisha mix hapo hiyo nutrients hapo kwa hiyo tangi ya chini tunawasha pump, hiyo ni pump ambayo it is used for deoxygenated and also for pumping water mpaka kwa ile tangi ya juu. Then from there tunafungua sasa from there. Tangi ya juu kijao tunafungua. Baada ya kufunga ndio sasa inakuja through this pipe and then inaingia kwa shamba through drip lines.
If you're looking to have better control of the growing conditions of your crops, perhaps this is one of the agricultural subsectors you should consider joining. And from the nursery bed, these crops take only 3 months to grow to market size.
Okay, tukivuna spinach na sukuma, tayari tunasema kuna ma-customers ambazo wanakuja mpaka hapa. Sisi hatutafuti, wameshajua kuna mashamba hapa. Wanakuja asubuhi ama jioni. Tukisha harvest, tunapeleka kwa weighing scale, kuna kilo hapa ya kupimia. Na tunauza kilo moja 60 bob. Kilo ya spinach na ya sukuma ni 60 bob. Alafu tunauzia ma-customers wetu. Alafu kama kuna, by the way, the demand is high and the supply is low. Ukiona kabisa kenye tunatoa hapa hii mboga itoshelezi ma-customers wengi sana. Hata tukiharvest 10 kg per greenhouse, unakuta ma-customers wanaichukua. Alafu bado tena wako na demand, wanataka ingine. Sasa unaona, changamoto ile tunapata tu ni ile unapata sasa the more tuna harvest kama saa hii leo, order ikikuja to harvest. Inabidi sasa tukae hii mashamba ikae 2 weeks ndio ijaminate mzuri, ndio tena ma-customers wakuja wanunue.
At Kalobeye, we meet Josephine Lukamika, who is an agronomist piloting hydroponics technology in Kalobeye Settlement Village 2. She takes us through the value addition and sustainability of this type of climate-smart agriculture in arid and semi-arid areas.
We began with 5 greenhouses. It was a piloting project. We trained beneficiaries both from host community and refugees on hydroponics technology. So out of the 5 greenhouses that we began with we call it phase 1, it was a pilot phase, a trial before we upgraded now that it worked out fine. So we began with 2 greenhouses in Kakuma town where we trained 14 in each greenhouse from host communities. We trained them on the hydroponics technology and currently they are doing production in those greenhouses. And then we have 1 greenhouse in Kakuma Camp 1 where we have beneficiaries from refugee communities. And then we have 2 greenhouses in Kalobeye settlement where 1 is for the host community and 1 for the refugees community. The 5 greenhouses worked out fine. They are now currently producing crops and selling hydroponically and selling them, getting something in return where they bank the money and use it to continue with the production cycles, and surplus is for their own consumption to also improve on their nutrition diet at home. Okay, the main reason behind the project is to empower the youth. You see, they not only get the training, they're also able to sell the produce, get something in return for sustainability. So you find here we are doing mostly the leafy vegetables, kales and spinach, and tomatoes. So these are fresh produce which are not produced in Kalobeye or even in Kakuma, even in Turkana West sub-county. People have to travel 420 kilometers to get the fresh produce. So with the greenhouses we are having just 7 greenhouses. The demand around the area is very high such that whatever we produce is not even enough for the market. So here they produce and sell to the market, and then they bank the money they get in return, and surplus they take home for own consumption. And the money they get in return, they use it to buy other things and cater for other needs at home. And the excess now that is after putting aside money that will be used in the next production cycle.
Operations in this type of farming require minimal labor and human input compared to traditional agriculture. And the crops can be planted all year round, giving you a steady flow of income. With hydroponics, it appears that every day could be a good day to be a farmer. A very good initiative indeed from the residents in Kalobeye as well as the development partners in that place. But the question is, how sustainable is this kind of farming? Let's talk to our experts.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Muyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the Home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
Toka eneo hili la Naivasha kwenye kaunti 032, gatuzi la Nakuru.
Kutoka kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet, kaunti 028.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Wajir.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Turkana.
Kwa matukio yote yanayojiri katika kaunti hii 012.
Kutoka kaunti nambari 1, kaunti ya Mombasa.
Francis Kabiru is a hydroponic consultant at Miramar.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka Kisii County.
Hydroponic fodder and vegetable systems to help small and medium holder farmers have access to high quality, cost-effective and sustainable way of farming. As part of the team involved in piloting hydroponics technology in Kalobeye Settlement Village 2, he shares key insights on progress, challenges and recommendations that would make such projects more viable and sustainable.
For us to go to Kalobeye, this is what happened. There was a lot of famine in that area. Kakuma, Kalobeye. People did not have food, and usually people in Kakuma, Kalobeye, they get their food from Kitale. So we were approached by GIZ, and we were asked, can you do this in ASIL areas? Yes, we can. That was our response, and immediately we went to Kakuma. When we got there, we found that people there don't even know how to produce their own food. People get food from elsewhere. The only thing they know is food comes from the market, not from the farms. But we were able to get there, and we were able to train both refugees and local people on hydroponics farming. Right now they are able to produce their vegetables, they are able to produce their tomatoes, and they're also getting an income from it. Yeah, which means at the end of the day, they're also having a livelihood, because if you're farming and you're getting money out of it, and you're also able to feed your family, then I think you can have a good livelihood from that. We are farming without soil. We're just using water and nutrient solution. And of course now we have to get a support media for the crops. That way we're able to supply nutrients to the crops, and you'll be able to monitor that crop to reach its full genetic potential. It's very simple actually, because all you need a space like this where you have a grow tray. A grow tray, you can have a trough like where we are, or you can have an A structure like this. The trough system uses something that we call a drip system for irrigation. So what you do, you mix your nutrients with water, and because already you have a grow tray that you have already put your crop in, then you run the nutrient solution where the roots will just be absorbing the nutrients. And it's as simple as that, and the crop will grow. After that, it's just normal crop care like you just do in the open field, or it's just normal greenhouse farming. Make sure that there is no clogging in the... Now, some of these materials, like what we have, the drip lines here, any irrigation company here in Nairobi you can get, okay? Then you have the troughs. The troughs, still irrigation companies, even flower companies, they use the same. Go to industrial area, go to this big agri company, you get the troughs. Now that is for the trough system. Okay, then of course you have the media. The media is because at the end of the day we have said that you have to have a holding media where the roots will be supported. Now what we are using here is volcanic rock. Volcanic rock, you get it from any place with volcanic activity, especially like Longonot on your way to Naivasha. Then you have, on this other side, we have the A structure. The A structure, the grow trays that we are using here, these are waste pipes. Waste pipes, you can get them from any hardware. Here we use a technique that is called a nutrient film technique. In the grow tray, you have also a cup where you have your crop that you'll be inserting now in the pipe that will be running a film of nutrients, and the roots will just be absorbing the nutrients. The good thing with it, you're also getting locally available materials that you use to support the crop, because here you have a combination of pumice and cocoa peat. Cocoa peat is ground coconut husks, and we have them here in the coast. We advocate for soilless farming because that is the only way we can be able to assure you of getting a crop to the full genetic potential and getting an income from it. Most people who are using soil, at the end of the day, most people you find that they fail because the crop at some time will fail because of diseases, soil-borne diseases especially. I'll give you an example, a disease like Fusarium wilt. Fusarium wilt it's a very bad disease for tomatoes, and basically for any crop in the Solanaceae family. Because what it does, immediately it gets into the crop, you cannot control it. Basically, the crop will die just within few months. But if you're doing hydroponics, you see, it's a soil-borne disease, so you don't have it here in hydroponics. So you'll be able to get the crop all the way to the end of the crop cycle. Right now, as we speak, these people are still producing their food, but the number of trainees we got is not enough for us to say that we have a tangible feel of the satisfaction. We need to train more people. We need more refugees to be trained. And we've realized that especially refugees are very resilient and they are very good in production. So if we could train, let's say in their thousands, we could have actually them feeding the whole of Turkana. And that way, they will disrupt the market by having people in Turkana having food that is cheap and nutritious. This is what we have done. Yes, they are sustainable. And actually, before we went there, the first thing we asked ourselves, is this sustainable? Because at the end of the day, we won't be there and holding them forever. At some time, we have to exit. So what we have done, number one, we give them the training. We make sure that they get enough practical training in terms of production. Number two, we also now link them with where they need to source for inputs, because that can also be a challenge. So we have linked the agrovets in Kakuma with input suppliers all the way here from Nairobi. So they just order, taken to the agrovets, then the farmers will just go and buy from the agrovets. That way it becomes very simple. Now, the other thing is in terms of market. We have also linked now the people that we have trained and are doing production, we have linked them with the markets in Kakuma town, yeah, and also some in Turkana, the Turkana town, so that anything that is produced, and by the way, they are not producing enough because most of the time you find that they are selling their produce at the gate. which means that the people the market people are already competing for the produce that is coming out of the hydroponics farms. I would really love to see more greenhouses in Kakuma, in Kalobey, more people trained, because with the training and production, you find that these people are getting a livelihood. So if all the partners were to think the way we and GIZ thought of having a sustainable project, that people will not be always coming to you for handouts, rather than you be showing them how to fish through now the hydroponic systems, they can do their own production. We found out that refugees actually are very resilient and they are very, very good in production, especially the refugees from Rwanda and Burundi. We've seen that they can be able, and they can even be able to articulate the messages that you're trying to get to them. So you find that these people are able to produce, they are trained on accounting, they know where to take the produce after, they know how to account for that produce, they know that this is the amount of money I'm supposed to keep for the company, this is the amount of money I'm supposed to use for my livelihood. And that way you find that there is a continuous cycle, there is continuous flow of income through and through. So all partners need to, and especially in that area, they need to think now, instead of giving these people just handouts, can we show them how to produce their own food and make money from it? And that is what we advocate for.
Modern ways of farming in arid and semi-arid lands. I do believe that you've learned something from today's episode. And that's how we wrap up this week's episode of Farming Today from Kalobeye in